Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we're going to do a comparison of two mid-range smartphones, the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2 with the Moto One Power. So both these devices are below the 20k price segment, with the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2 price starts at 12,999, while the Moto One Power is available only in one variant, which is priced 15,999. So both have really good battery capacity, both have 5000 mAh capacity battery, and comes with stock like UI. So that's the advantage of both the phones. Now let's see which is the better device to buy in this price segment, what are the features both the devices excel. So let's get started. First up, let's have a look at the design and build quality. So design wise, you can see that both the devices have the notch display. You can see the notch is a bit wider on the Moto One Power, while it's a bit smaller. But at the same time, you can see the chin on the bottom section is a bit smaller on the Moto One Power when compared to the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2. Now looking at the back panel, you can see that the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2 is made of polycarbonate material with a glossy finish, while we have the metal construction on the Moto One Power. You can also see that the Moto One Power is thicker of the two devices, and it's also heavier of the two devices. So in terms of the design aspect, you can see that both the devices are pretty good. The Zenfone Max Pro M2 is a bit more lightweight, so easy to use. On the other hand, the Moto One Power is a bit more thicker and also heavier device. But when it comes to build quality, we would feel the Moto One Power with the metal construction feels a bit more sturdier and durable when compared to the plastic build, or rather the polycarbonate build on the Zenfone Max Pro M2. So that was the design and build quality. Now next, let's move on to the display. So both the phones have Full HD Plus resolution display. We have 6.26 inches Full HD Plus resolution display on the Zenfone Max Pro M2, while we have 6.2 inches Full HD Plus resolution display on the Moto One Power. So both the devices have Full HD Plus resolution display and 19:9 aspect ratio. Now the display quality is pretty good on both the phones. The viewing angles, the colors are quite similar on both the phones. We have Gorilla Glass 6 on the Zenfone Max Pro M2, while we have Gorilla Glass 3 on the Moto One Power. So there is definitely an advantage for the Zenfone Max Pro M2 in terms of the display quality. The touch response and viewing angles are quite similar on both these devices. Now next, let's move on to the software. So both the phones run on stock like UI, with the Moto One Power running on Android One platform. So it has got the Android Pie update. So right now it's running on Android 9.0, while on the other hand the Zenfone Max Pro M2 is running on Android 8.1. So there is definitely an advantage for the Moto One Power with the new latest UI. And since this is under the Android One platform, it will be getting the updates on a timely manner. On the other hand, the Zenfone Max Pro M2 will be getting the Android Pie update sometime later in Jan 2019. So as of now, we feel the software is definitely better on the Moto One Power with Android Pie update. Now moving on to the performance. So both the devices are pretty good in terms of the performance. We have the Snapdragon 660 octa-core chipset with either 3, 4 or 6 GB RAM variants and 32 and 64 GB storage. We have the Moto One Power with the Snapdragon 636 with 4 GB RAM and 64 GB storage. Now when it comes to day-to-day performance, both are equally good, no lags whatsoever, and both does a pretty good job in terms of the performance, and app opening was quite similar on both the phones. But when it comes to gaming, that's where the Zenfone Max Pro M2 with the Snapdragon 660 has an edge. It is a bit more powerful chipset than the Snapdragon 636, and games like PUBG can be played with HD graphics, while on the Moto One Power it can be played only with the moderate or the medium graphic settings. So that's the advantage when it comes to gaming for the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2. Now both the devices have fingerprint scanners located on the back panel. Both does a quite good job overall. So that's the performance aspect. Now moving on to the other aspects, both the devices have good signal strength, and the call quality was also quite good. Now there is a 5 magnet speaker on the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2, while we have Dolby Audio on the Moto One Power. So speaker performance is quite good on both the phones. Now moving on to the cameras. So we have a dual camera setup on both the phones. We have a 12 megapixel primary camera with f-stop 1.8, secondary 5 megapixel camera for depth sensing LED flash. On the other hand, Moto One Power has a 16 megapixel f1.8 camera and it also comes with a secondary 5 megapixel camera with depth sensing and dual LED flash included. On the front panel we have a 13 megapixel camera on the Zenfone Max Pro M2, while we have a 12 megapixel camera on the Moto One Power. Now when it comes to camera quality, when it comes to the camera performance, we feel both these devices are quite capable camera. Neither of them are really superior. You could see the sharpness levels are better on the Zenfone Max Pro M2, while the colors are a bit more richer on the Moto One Power. At the same time, it's not really accurate colors. Even the Zenfone Max Pro M2 colors are not really accurate. So the color actual quality is somewhere in between the Moto One Power and the Zenfone Max Pro M2. So neither of them are perfect, but both does a quite good job in terms of rear camera performance. And you can see that both are capable smartphones. The dynamic range seems to be better on the Moto One Power. Now when it comes to low light performance, you can see the Zenfone Max Pro M2 has more details and the pictures are more evident, but the colors look slightly washed out, while on the other hand the Moto One Power has slightly better colors overall. When it comes to selfie camera, that's where the Moto One Power does not have that great capabilities, even though there is a portrait mode for the selfie camera. The selfie camera performance was slightly better on the Zenfone Max Pro M2. Also, when it comes to video recording, the Zenfone Max Pro M2 has an advantage that there is EIS support, which is not available on the Moto One Power. So definitely camera, it's a mixed performance. The rear camera we felt both are quite good, but when it comes to selfie camera and video recording, the Zenfone Max Pro M2 has an advantage. Now finally moving on to the battery life. So both the phones have 5000 mAh capacity battery, and both are really good in terms of battery performance, but we feel that the Moto One Power definitely has a better battery life for two reasons. One, it has actual screen on time better, and it also has the Android Pie update. So two reasons combined, it has better battery life, and you can get screen on time of around 10 hours plus on the Moto One Power, while we got around 8 hours plus on the Zenfone Max Pro M2. So battery life is definitely better on the Moto One Power. Also, Moto One Power has USB Type-C port and 18-watt fast charging is supported, while the Zenfone Max Pro M2 has a micro USB charging slot and there is no fast charging supported. So battery life is definitely better on the Moto One Power. So now summing up, which is the better device to buy? Now you get the 4GB RAM and 64GB storage of variant of these two devices at 14,999 and 15,999 for these two devices. But the Zenfone Max Pro M2 definitely starts at lower price point of 12,999. But we'll just compare this 4GB RAM and 64GB storage variant of these two devices, where the pricing is just 1K different. So for these 1K different on the Zenfone Max Pro M2, you get a slightly better selfie camera, you get better display and a slightly lightweight design and better gaming experience. But on the other hand, the Moto One Power has better battery life, fast charging, USB Type-C port, then better build quality and also Android Pie update. Both are really good in terms of the overall experience. It's a really tough job to decide one device out of these two devices, but then you have to prioritize on what is important. If battery life is important and fast charging, then go with the Moto One Power. It also has Android Pie update and sturdier build. It's priced 1K higher, but it definitely great value for money. But on the other hand, if you want slightly better selfie experience and Gorilla Glass 6, something which is not available on smartphones below the 20K price segment, so if that is your priority along with a lightweight build, then the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2 makes sense. So you have to prioritize on what is important for you and decide which is better here. So that was a detailed comparison of the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2 with the Moto One Power. So hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the red subscribe button for more videos. This is Nirmal signing off. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.